After chemo 2 had happened, pretty much the same scenario as chemo 1. Went in, no problems, hooked up, flushed, medicine poison goes in, come out of hospital. There's a bit more of a wait this time. It's getting busier, and watching the chemo nurses run around. There's not enough chemo nurses, by the way. There was way too many people on this ward to be handled by these nurses, and I don't know where they get a break, because they're just literally all over the place. And the buzzers of the chemo machines saying that the fusion's finished, that it was just, they were going off everywhere. It was, I'd imagine what maybe World War sirens sounded like. They were just going off all over the place, and you would see a chemo nurse zip, 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 zip all over the place to try and get this sorted. So NHS, sort yourselves out, because there's not enough chemo nurses. And I don't care who I offend on this. I have my opinions on the NHS. I think the NHS are absolutely fantastic. I think the people that work, the nurses, the doctors that do the job are fantastic. I think your administration in the NHS is piss poor. And whoever is in charge of that needs to take a good hard look at yourself, because it is piss poor. The way these people work, it's just non-stop. And I think that's part of the problem. They're on autopilot, which then leads into the lack of care. Of course they care, and they're very, very nice people. I've never been mistreated by anybody at a chemo suite, but you can tell they're running on autopilot. And I blame the administration side of that. There is not enough chemo nurses working on that chemo ward, and the people that are receiving chemotherapy deserve better than that. It's not the nurses, that's the bigwigs at the top. And I'll be happy to have a conversation, and I'll tell you what the problem is. It's the problem between the pharmacy and the doctors. There's a massive disconnect there, where you could be discharged but still wait another 8 hours to get your tablets, and that again is piss poor. But anyway, ranting, forget ranting. So again, same, go home. But I'm starting to feel sick. I'm starting to feel nauseous. The nausea's kicking in. That's what I remember. The nausea has started to kick in, and it's not nice, and I'm starting to lose my appetite. I'm really, really not feeling too great at the moment. The Superman, yeah, I've got this, I've nailed this sucker, it is starting to dissipate now, because now I'm starting to feel weak. I'm starting to feel poorly. I'm starting to feel a little bit more miserable in myself. This building up, and I would imagine it's the building up of the poison that's doing it, but I'm starting to feel down now, and it's not a nice feeling. And it led to a big argument in our house. My daughter Sophie was, I can't remember what it was. We'd asked her to sit downstairs with us. That's what it was. We were watching something. We said, come and sit downstairs with us and watch this with us. And she didn't want to do it. She wanted to stay on the phone to her friends and do this online game thing that they do. She didn't want to come down and be with her mum and dad. Josh, I think Josh was at work. I remember he wasn't in the house at the time. But Sophie didn't want to come downstairs and be with me and Belinda. And I took that, and I got really upset. Really, really upset. And again, I said in a previous video, I don't cry. It's not who I am. I don't cry at things. But this really hit me. And it launched a massive argument. And I shouted at Sophie, which I shouldn't have. She didn't deserve that. And I shouted at Belinda, which I shouldn't have, because she didn't deserve that. But I remember trying to justify why I was angry and upset. And I said to Belinda, I said, look, there's going to be a day that I'm not going to be here. And Sophie's going to turn around and she's going to say, I wish I'd spent more time with Dad. It really hit me. It upset me, and I had tears coming out my eyes, because I'm not going to be there to look after Sophie if she did feel like that, and make her feel better, like I had been when we told her the diagnosis, when we told Josh the diagnosis. We were there for the kids to make sure they felt secure, make sure there was a fight to be had, and make sure I was going to be here for a long time. But I just remember thinking, if I go, it would break my heart for her to turn around to Belinda and say, I wish I'd spent more time with Dad when he asked me to. And that was my justification for it. It was wrong in execution. There was no way I should have shouted at people, but I also felt like crap, which is not an excuse. You shouldn't shout at anybody. But yeah, it was... I can't remember what the hell it was. I think it was Tiger King, that nutcase with the tigers. I think it was that. I wanted her to come and watch this with us, to watch this lunatic Tiger King chap. I'm sure that's what it was. Chemo 3 came and went, and I was sick as a dog. I felt really, really poorly. Belinda had bought me this little mini Lego Millennium Falcon, and I couldn't put it together because my hands were shaking, and I'd curled up into a ball on the couch because I was just felt dreadful. I'm in the fetal position, and Josh saw that, and he went into the kitchen. He said, Dad's not well, he's curled up. And then Belinda came in and somehow got upstairs. So it's getting worse. The chemo infusions are getting worse. The nausea, I'm on a different type of nausea tablet now, which did start to work after chemo 4. That symptom started to relieve, but now I've got another symptom starting to show up. My tongue is now shredded. I'm going to put a video of that, a picture of that on this one, and I'll put a picture of it on Instagram as well. But my tongue's now shredded. To eat anything felt like razor blades. Not only can I not taste the damn thing because all my taste buds have now gone, but to eat anything to put into your mouth, it just felt like I was chewing razor blades. And when I stuck my tongue out and we took a picture of it, it looked horrific. It looked absolutely disgusting. So I apologise. I'll put a trigger warning on that because it's not a nice photo to look at. But the symptoms are now starting to kick in. The insomnia is kicking in. I can't sleep anymore. I can't sit still. Everything hurt. I felt immense pain. And again, I apologise for the graphicness of this, but I went to... This was actually the first bit of hope we had in this. So this is chemo 4. Chemo 3. I went to the bathroom and it was full of blood. So we panicked over that. And we called the emergency line to say, look, I've just been to the bathroom and it's full of blood. And then told the nurse. The nurse said, she'd speak to the doctor, and the doctor will give me a call back. And the doctor called me back. And he said, okay, well, look, I don't think there's anything to worry about here. In fact, I think that's actually a good thing. Because what it could be a sign of, and we'll monitor it, what it could be a sign of is that the chemotherapy is actually starting to shred the tumour in your bowel, your colon, and that's what's causing the blood. If you've got that much blood, I think that's what's happening, that the chemo is actually starting to have an effect and it's starting to shred the tumour. So that was a good piece of good news, that the thing was actually working. I'll go into some more stuff in the next video with side effects, and we're getting into Christmas now and all that kind of stuff. So I'll speak more about that in the next video.